Here's the plan. Right, so the speedo and tacho in the Jag, which is those ones that are in there now. Right, so they're the original, can't know if you can see them, original Jag gauges. Bounce around, carry on. Speedo doesn't work anyway because when we built the auto we took the speedo drive out because the speedo doesn't work in the Jag. So here's the plan. Okay, so these ones here are chrome bezels. We'll paint them because I've got a set of black bezel ones in a Jag outside, but for now I'm going to test, I'm going to chop the back out of that, and then I've bought these. So this is a GPS speedo, okay, in kilometers, not miles, mad, and there's a tacho. Okay, so the plan is for the tacho to mount that inside there, so pull it apart, get it to drop in and work somehow. So we'll end up with speedo and tacho that size, but in the original ones. Yeah, they'll work better. Jag guys love stuff to be original. I'd rather something working. It's 50 years old, they don't work properly, and I reckon they'll be sweet. So yeah, especially with the upgrades to the motor now, the gearbox that'll shift well, you know, it'd just be better to have a tacho that actually works. We'll go from there. So, all right, I'm going to start chopping this apart. I'll show you how it's all going to maybe work. Okay, so the front bezel just comes off pretty easy, and that keeps all those bits there. It just slots onto the top. When I put that up, when I put that up against there, it looks like the speedo is going to run around that edge, but I can just paint over that black to get it so it looks good. Now we've got our high beam light here. Okay, I might move that right down to the edge so we'll retain our high beam light in the actual speedo. So for now I'm going to cut that off the back there. It'll bugger us up a little bit for that speedo, the high beam light, but I'll work that out in a second. So I'm going to cut that off, pull that off, and then just work out where I've got to cut round here for that to drop through, and that's just got a screw on thing at the back. So start by cutting that off and see where I end up. Yeah, righto, here we go. Now I'm missing, this one's held in at the back with that black ring there, but when I pull the other dash out of that one, I'll end up with the black ring to be able to reset it back on there. So yeah, all right, I think it's going to work. Yeah, these here were off eBay. I'll put up here, so that's what they were, about 35 bucks or whatever it was, but that's the ad there that was on eBay for both of those. They'll match, they'll work. And worst case scenario, I've got another set of gauges in there, and I'm not actually cutting up the good ones that are in the Jag. These ones here were random ones out of another car. So yeah, and I'll actually I won't have to repaint those bezels, that's what they're called, off the front of these, because I can just use the existing good ones that are in the Jag to slip back onto these gauges. So I'm just going to use these carcasses. Yeah, nah. See, it's all falling together. See, it all comes down to that same thing that I keep trying to tell you guys, that you can do anything. If other people can do it, you can do it. You've just got to have a bash. So yeah, because otherwise you'd be costing a fortune to try and get these gauges fixed, but it's going to cost me maybe $100 if that, to put new gauges in it. See, the speedo comes with like all the GPS stuff and all that to plug it in, so that's pretty cool. It's going to be mad. Sweet. Righto, here we go. Let's chippity chop. Mine a sideways maneuver. I ended up undoing a couple of screws there, and this mechanism dropped out. Now that was our high beam light there. On the back there was this globule of dried up secretions on the back, so I'm going to try and drop out that blue thing there and make some other sort of light work for the high beam when I get to it. So, but at least now, so that's out of the way. I can mark on that, easy to do that. Now I can just get these things here off and out of the way, which I don't even know what they're for. They're to light up the speedo. And now I can just drop that into there to scribe our circle, and we'll be cheering. I can cut that out and drop that in, so that'll drop straight through like that. All right, and then make a spacer or something to get it to sit right, and get this speedo section off here to then have our bit of cardboard. Yeah, it's coming together mint. See, just got to destroy stuff. Okay, so I used the jigsaw, which was sketch as, to chop that out. Okay, so now that, in theory, drops in through that hole. Bit hard to do it all one-handed, guys, but we will get there together as a team. Look at us go. We need like jerseys with numbers. Righto, then that screws on there to hold it in place. So now all I've got to do is get that spacing correct. Right, because that's pretty good. Next step will be modifying this face to give me the bit around the outside. So, seems a bit of a shame to wreck that, but it's just a bit of tin. Don't know. Anyway, that's the next step anyway, is to get that bit there to sit properly, work out how I'm going to space that off so it sits at the right height, and we're cheering. I'll use the good bezels off the other one, and then I can chop up the taco next. Sweet! It's going to be good. I know there'll be some hate, but I don't actually care. So all good. So I'm going to come up with an idea. So this here has to be spaced off, right? So it doesn't sit hard against that. It actually sits not far off that space. I'm wondering if that there is like a standard drain pipe sort of size. If I can get a piece of drain pipe that will slide over that pretty snugly, and that way I can just cut the piece to the right size, tighten that down onto it, and that'll work fine. And then cut that and glue that to the face. So I need to find that measurement there and then go for a ride. Gives me an excuse too to ride my motorbike. I bought the JSXR in today. There she is. What a beast. Any excuse to go for a ride. Yeah, so drain pipe. Let's measure this and see what we've got. So it's about that distance, that's about 90 mil, right? And then see here, you got 90 mil, but then see the end of it though, see how the end of it sort of flares? And then you got that bit. Even if I've got to buy like a full length just to get that end piece, it's a bit bigger, or that piece, oh yeah, or that piece. So I might go for a ride to Bunnings now. How am I going to get the crap back here? Oh, I might even be able to just buy a bend piece. And that'll fit in my pocket. Righto. Bunnings. Here we go. Righto. So I didn't think that through too well. See what I've done here? I've had to gaffer tape the PVC pipe to my arm to get it back on the motorbike. But yeah, so we've got a bit of pipe though. It fits in perfectly. I expected to buy like a couple of bends, and I could cut the bends, but the bends were all larger. But yeah, so PVC pipe. There we go. We're back. Workshop. Laughing. Let's see if they're going to fit. Make up some spaces. Righto, so I'm cutting out this face here, because this is the one that was the old speedo. Because that'll sit there, that'll drop in. But yeah, so I've got to get this cut out. I've scribed a line, you can see around the edge of the numbers there. Okay, so I've got to cut that out as neat as I can so it slips over. And then hopefully that'll be a bit of the face that'll drop together, the spacer. We're getting there. I'm happy. It's coming together. And then we just got to do the taco. Righto, so I cut a piece. I cut it too big though, but that's alright. So that's the way it'll work. So that there, that's the piece I just cut to make our spacer out of the pipe. So that goes there, that slides through that. But I've got to cut it down further. Trying to hold and do everything at the same time. That'll drop through there. But at the moment, when I put my glass piece back over the top, it touches. So I want to have between the face of that gauge and the glass about 2 or 3 mil at least. But yeah, so that there in theory drops through there and goes together as a unit. A bit hard doing it with one hand to show you guys, but anyway. Yeah, and then you'll see that, so that goes, oops, that goes through there anyway, then the thread there, and that thread's on the back to hold all that in place. Alright, and then, but I've just got to get that distance right, so I've got to recut another one of these, work out how far it's sitting off. So I think I'm going to have to take about 5 mil off that. The ring doesn't have to be very big, it's just, yeah, just enough. But anyway, we're getting there, we're getting there. Righto, for some reason cameras won't work, but anyway, we've got my phone, so that'll do. Okay, so as you can see, we've got both of these now sitting nicely. We've got that little hole at the bottom down there, which we're going to have to plug, which is fine, but that's those. And then those bevels, those there go over the top like that, but I'm going to be using the black ones, because the Jag has black surrounds, not chrome ones, for them to sit in there. So I'm just going through now. I've got this old dash fascia here because it looks like it's held on from that bolt there and those two, which are in the side here. How good's that though, that your fuse box is just there and that panel there just sort of drops down to make it accessible, which is pretty cool. And El Capitanio, this thing is running again. What's happening is this is off by a couple of mil, but we're thinking the clutch fan, because it revs so quick now and then it catches and it shudders and carries on. In the Jag out the back here, yeah, there he is there, see? That Jag just there has that twin set of fans and it's got another radiator in it. It has a good thematic switch, which means it automatically comes on, because I am a big pusher of don't have a switch to run your fans because you will overheat your car. But other than that, she's going really well. We've had to order because now where the rockers are sitting isn't quite right and it's holding oil in the top end, but it's pretty good. Like, it's not too bad. I can't rev the arse out of it because of that, which for me is a good thing because I'm a bloody idiot and I'll just do burnouts and carry on like a fool. But for now, I'm going to try and get this new speedo in, and the tacos will actually know what we're doing. Try and sort out what my cameras are doing. But yeah, but often on Sunday to pick up young Mia. She's coming up for a few days. She's only up here for about 4 days with us for the school holidays, which is going to be pretty cool. But I would like to pick her up in the Jag because she does love it as much as me. So yeah, and I also bought some wheel spats for a HR off Facebook last night. Which you'll see them. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cheap actually, down in Logan. But I may have just booked another job for Logan for tomorrow. We'll see how we go. Either way, going down there, pick them up, pick up Mia and come back. The other thing I want to address is I washed the SS at the car wash on Sunday or Saturday, anyway, on the weekend. And at the start of it, I said, please do not tear up because I'm going to use this brush. Now, here's where I stand on the car wash. Back in the day when they first come out, yes, those brushes at the car wash were like they were like a workshop broom and you wouldn't have washed your car with it. So I can imagine it now, right? Here's you as a young kid and your dad's there going, oh, you can't wash your car down there, you'll bloody wreck it. You know, oh, those brushes, you'll scratch the shit out of your paint. That was a long time ago, and if you're still holding on to the ramblings of a crazy old man, which was your dad, you're a fool. Okay, those brushes there are fine. Have a look at it before you wash your car. If it's covered in mud and that, fair enough. No worries. Hit it with the pressure washer, clean it, and then wash your car. I did say at the start of that I'm going to be polishing the car. But obviously there has to be some keyboard weirdos that just have to whinge and bitch and complain about everything. And if you're that person, sit down and shut up. No one wants to hear it. I can show you the SS isn't scratched. It is what it is. And just for you, people that whinged and bitched, every single time we finish and paint a car, I'm going to go to the car wash and I'm going to wash it with that brush. Because I'm telling you now, that brush is a lot better than the dirty old sponge I've got sitting in a dirty old bucket over there. It just, like, come on. You're telling me that your dirty old sponge or whatever it is that you use to wash your car is better than the dirty old... It's just fucking ridiculous. People are fucking idiots. But anyway, end of that little bit of a rant. So just to recap, you're a fool. Keep your stupid comments to yourself and I'll continue to do whatever I like. Righto, so the dash is out. That was absolutely delightful. I've got it over here on the bench and I'm about to start pulling it apart. So just undo these carrier ones here and then that there should come off in theory. It looks like it slides, but I'll get this apart, get them out and work out wiring it back together. We're getting there. Righto, so that face there slips off the old gauge and then it has those little tabs which are there, which then go into those little slots. Okay, and then that one there's done and that's how it come up. So that's how it'll sit in the car and look like that, which is pretty good. I'm very happy with that. Very cheap fix for the speedo stuff. And then this one here, I've just cleaned the glass, got fingerprints and that off. That'll sit on there like that and be sweet. So get this back together, get that slid into that. I've got a couple of toes to go do. Young Jake just bought another 4Runner, Surf, diesel one. And I've got a couple of wrecks to pick up as well, and then I'll be back to put the dash back in. So I'm going to get all this prepped, Lethal wire it, I'll come and put it back together while he fits the new radiator as well. So, cars, why do we do this stuff again? Anyway, right, let's get into it. Alright, so that's where we're at. So that looks pretty good. You know, like it's not, well, what was it? I think like 40 bucks a gauge or something, so 80 bucks. This is GPS. This tacho will actually be good. It's got all the crap in the box for the GPS and stuff here, for the harness and stuff. So yeah, I'm happy with that. It's come up well. You know, it's just so hard with 50-year-old cars, you know, like it's just, yeah, and that's cheap. And I'm cheap. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm going to go do some tows. Captain's going to come back and wire that up, and then I'll be able to fit it back in the car a bit later on and see how we go. I hope it works. Who knows? Well, you got to try though, don't you? But a set of auto meter gauges, a tacho and a speedo, I would have been $300 or $400 each, especially for a speedo. I don't know what they cost. I know they're not cheap though, but at the same time, I didn't want to put like autos in because that there still looks sort of standard-ish. You know what I mean? Like there's my old speedo there, you know, so it's within the realm of, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens. No doubt there'll be a wanker that has to comment down below about, I don't know. Anyway, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see the craziness. Who's the first crazy person to put up a stupid comment? This will be good. But don't do it just to do it. Like if you are seriously crazy and then you're the normal sort of keyboard warrior wanker, still put your comment down below. We'll all laugh at you. But yeah, don't just make something up. Don't make yourself out to be a dickhead if you're not a dickhead. Anyway, all right. Yeah, let's go drive around. Righto, I hope all that made sense so far with the gauges going in. I'd lost a heap of footage and stuff like that. I hope you enjoyed my rant as well. There's a few of those that go on that don't make it in, but there you go. All right, so the car at the moment is dirty, covered in bird shit, but it's actually at Kingatow Auto Electrics. It's our local auto electrician, and he's really good, like really good. But he'd stand here for the aircon, so we'll start on the outside. This is really the last piece of the puzzle for me to be able to start using this car. So we put an evaporator in it when we've done all the aircon and stuff. When, yeah, there's a transcooler there, an evaporator and our radiator. We put a new thermo switch in because we changed over the thermo fans, and this here has a digital display so you can actually set when the fans come on and off. Okay, they're a really good thing. They're about 80 or 90 bucks or 130 or something. They're not dear, but they're well worth having for automatic fans. We put a new compressor on. As you guys know, when we done the car, this bracket was from the States. It was like 135 bucks to be able to put it that way. They're waiting on a couple of fittings, and that's about it really. So there are our lines, so the pump's on. The car's probably still pulled apart a bit. Okay, so your aircon evaporator's under here, it runs along here. I'll have to fold up some pieces to make these vents work really well. I'm going to put a different stereo in. They've got new switches obviously, which is good. And yeah, but I'll show you these gauges. And yeah. Alright, so this is how they ended up. I personally think that they look really good. Where's the sun? You know, looking from the front there, you can't even really notice that they're modified. They run the standard things. To me, I don't know about you guys, I know the Jag purists won't like what I've done there by modifying it. The tacho is a little bit slow, but the speedo, the GPS speedo, is absolutely spot on. The bit that isn't the best is the trip. I can't get to the trip button to reset the trip computer, and it doesn't give me K's traveled, but I'm not selling this car. I'll probably just about keep it forever. I've got the old speedo there and I put it in a box in a boot, so it's got a kilometre reading. But yeah, so that's how she turned out. I'm really happy with it. It works really well, which is all I really wanted. But yeah, so aircon in the Jag, which is going to be awesome, and make it a lot more usable, especially with black leather. And yeah, the windows got tinted last week as well, so yeah, once it's all clean, we'll get it out and give you a better look at the tint job. It got done here at South Burnett Window Tinting, which is next door. But yeah, so she's all tinted up and the aircon's done. This is a mate's car that come in. It's got a 440 in it. It's a satellite. She's a bit of an animal, this thing. The motor's built. He's just bought a new car before it. I think he rang me this morning, said he's dropping it in. But yeah, it's a bit of a beast. So she's going to be an animal. It's an auto, full manualised. Yeah, she's a machine. What do you reckon about that big tank? It's around the same size as like the 64 Galaxy I want to buy. But anyway, all right guys, hope you enjoyed that. I've got a few more videos that are edited there. A lot of it is more wreck removal stuff. Yeah, and the sheet metal stuff. I'm so looking forward to getting started on the sheet metal stuff. And I've bought Nicole her first car. So the first car she ever owned, I've bought one of them for her. I'm actually heading to the workshop soon to go have a look at that to work out disc brakes and stuff, because I've got another couple of cars to do a conversion. It makes a little bit more sense to you guys now, hopefully, about why I collect so many different cars, because that car's come in, but I've got the other car there already that you need for the disc brake conversion for that car. So there is a method to the madness. I know there's a lot of madness, but there's also, yeah. Right guys, well that's cool. Very, very happy. See you.